but it's all about selling and creating art and targeting a market. So then, let's see, I started painting, just painting beautiful pictures. And the first style that I started painting was this black light at the end of the tunnel style. I really love the drama of it. My whole thing is blending and getting the effects like of a Rembrandt and using light and shadow. And I love to paint black. My father always said, you know, you're always painting black. You always dress in black. You know, you're like an undertaker. And I said, yeah, Dad, but I like that. It's cool, right? And so that's it. Then my wife was working at Nesbitt Burns, and she was, her job was to train the young people when they were coming out of U of T or Western to come into the firm. And so a lot of these young people became my friends, and we always had parties, and my wife really knows how to throw a good party. And so it really works out well. And so some of these young guys became very, very powerful guys. They rose up. And it's really interesting to see which ones became like real powerful people, and the other ones you think that gotta do it, they don't. It's more like the humble people that really made it. So one of them was a guy by the name of Joe Canavan, and I remember we were just starting out, we were going with his friends to Swiss Chalet, and he was running to the bank to make sure he had money to cover this new business that he was creating. And he started with Fidelity, became the president of Fidelity, and then started 4 different mutual fund companies. And then one day he says, Adrian, you know what? You should paint some pictures of a polar bear fighting. And so that's what I did. And that's it. Did you guys get a chance to see it? So, a guy in New York found out about it, and he printed it. And so that's a poster that you can buy online through Amazon. And a lot of my friends and the people in the financial sector were all interested in this type of work. So I get hired by a lot of companies to paint something for their boardroom. And when I get asked to do that, I always try to encourage the CEO to print it, and so that they pay me for the copyrights. And that's a really important thing that I wish that there was more students here, that I would encourage them and let them know how important copyrights is to the success of an artist. When you paint a picture, somebody buys the painting, that person does not own the copyrights of that picture, right? The artist, the creator of it, retains the copyrights. So why that works so well is sometimes a company will buy my copyrights like 5 different times, and you still have the original. And that's what I mean, like if a company wants a big boardroom picture and they make prints and give it to their clients, it's a really cool thing. So lots of bulls and bears. And it ended up, Universal Pictures phoned me last summer, or the summer before, and said, we want to use that in a movie. And so that is in a movie called American Reunion. And I remember I made a deal with them, so they paid me for the copyrights, but I kind of forgot about it. And then, because, lots of times these things go really smoothly, and then it ends up on the cutting room floor, and you're told all your friends it's in a movie, and it doesn't end up in a movie, right? So lots of times I don't even say anything until it's actually in the movie. So the last Easter, all my nephews and nieces are coming over for Easter, and they said, Uncle Adrian, did you see the picture of the movie? And I'm saying, what? No. Yeah, it's in there for like a minute and a half. On the big screen, it looked like my signature was the size of a Volkswagen. And then they gave me credit at the end. So there was a lot of buzz created, and so I got asked to do a lot more of these type of pictures. And you know what? I'll show you some of the new ones that I did right now, if you want. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll all do our best. There's my dog, Daisy.
With wings?
Yeah, man. She's like an earth angel. I love her, yeah. This is my new one. So happy with it. So now I'm going to be printing it, and I'll be selling it to whoever wants it. And so it's through Facebook and Twitter that I'll get this out there. My niece, this is a really cool story too. I don't have kids, but my sister had one, and she liked my kid. And so she had a good business selling Italian leather in Yorkville, but then she wanted to get into a financial business. So she joined the investors group and took all kinds of courses and got this job in the States. She had dual citizenship. A lot of my family live in the States. And so wherever my family is, that's where I show my work. Right? Because I'm going there all the time, and you've got to keep track of your work wherever it is. And you have to be careful, because all of a sudden these places can fold up and you just lost your pictures. It happened to me. I lost about 5 pictures. Isn't that disgusting? So she was working for this great company, and then she got married to a lawyer in Washington, D.C., and she was really happy with the company. We got 3 kids. Comes up here. Could you imagine on an airplane by herself with 3 kids to come and visit us? That's the type of person she is. So now she was or a lot of people were let go at her office because of the downturn in the economy in the States. And so she called headhunters, and right away started looking for another job. And she got an opportunity to work for a company called Motley Fools. What a name for a financial business. Anyway, these 2 twin brothers are like in the forefront of this business. And she got chosen to, she was second in line to get this job, but they felt that she was too aggressive. And then I said to her, you know what, they're crazy if they don't hire you. And they eventually came back and hired her. So now she's got this awesome job in Washington with these guys. And so I'm going to try and give them some prints in 10 days of my new picture, and let these guys do a commentary on it and get it out to the financial sector in the States. So I'm working on another one right now, and this one is, oh, I'll show you another.
Also bulls?
Bulls and bears, yeah. But, so, I don't know, I'm a lot more successful in the United States than I am up here. And there's a bull bear. There. So, bull. We don't want a bear market anymore. We want a bull market. So that's why, like, I'm really emphasizing it. But there's all kinds of other things going on. There's a general on the hill, and he's like doing troop movements. And this is like a gigantic war in the back, and this is the foreground of another gigantic battle like this one here. And if you look carefully, it's very brutal without actually showing blood. And so there's a bunch of cowardly bears hiding in the woods, and we want to get rid of these guys. That's why this guy sent these troops to go out and get those guys. So my sister, she's a psychiatrist, and she just retired, and she's my secret guide. She's very beautiful and very, very smart. So she gives me synopsis of everything that I create. I have my ideas, but to get it verbally down and explain it properly, that's what really helps sell paintings, giving good titles. So she's right in there. She loves to do it too, right? So yeah, then in order to do, like this part is kind of getting lost, so I'm going to make another print of this. So you see this online too. Yeah, so the one I'm working on now, so there's always a series. I always do not one, but 2 or 3 or 4. So the fourth one in the series, and they're all big, they're like that's 6 feet. And this one is a magnificent black Spanish bull with always gilded horns. All my bulls have gilded horns. I might eventually use gold leaf on some of the originals. And so this big black, it has to be so magnificent, it's just marching through this field of beat up bears. But when I was designing it, you know, bears are cute. I love bears. I don't want to see them dead and beat up. But, so you never see their faces, you know. So it's he's marching on a field of dead bears. In the background is a beautiful torn up U.S. flag. And then black clouds all through, but this beautiful sunrise coming off to the right. So this is a painting symbolizing the new economy for the U.S. Do you think I'm going to get it out there?
Yes.
I think so. That's the trick. How do you get it out there? Right? And it's all social media. That's the way to go. And I don't even know too much about it, but I'm learning everything fast. Yeah, so creating a product. So a company in California, Arbonne, phoned me up this one time, and they wanted a painting of a mother and her daughter applying makeup in the washroom, and it had to look like a Norman Rockwell. And so I painted the picture, and to make it more like Norman Rockwell, I put Daisy in it. So she's like there, a little girl with the mother, and I went to deliver the painting. Once again, they were ordering the original painting, buying it, and they were buying the copyrights, and I was giving them 100 limited edition G-clay prints for their salespeople. And so it's a beautiful deal. And then after I did that deal, they sent the secretary over to buy 13 originals for their office. So that's how you make a lot of money with art. Yeah, and so they even said, you know what, we have cosmetics for dogs too. So they love that. Yeah, so, yeah, I should show you more pictures.
Can I ask you a question? Do you have a hard time parting with your paintings? If it's a really good money, well, they're all very
You know, like, that's not my pride and joy.
exactly.
You know,
Like if somebody offers you whatever money you probably might say.
yeah, yeah, and a lot of people tell me, you know, you shouldn't sell the ones that you really like. You should keep them.
Can you make the prints of those and
Yeah,
sell the prints?
you know, that's the beauty of it. When Wanda was just here, she loves this one painting, but it's expensive. My paintings are very, very expensive. And but now, when I have an art, this is so exciting too. See, I have a printer, and he's like state of the art. And him and I are forming a partnership. And so, with today's technology, we can do amazing things. He can make this three-dimensional. So you know my pictures are already three-dimensional when you saw the last one. Imagine if we apply this technique to it, how three-dimensional it would look. Unheard of. Nobody's doing it ever. Right? But what's going to happen, you know, it's going to come all to happen sooner or later. But, yeah. Where were we?
Sorry, I didn't talk to you. I want to know about.
Yeah, so Wanda can have a print for $500, right? And now people, well, here, I'll show you some other things.
And is that's a print of your original?
That's right, it's a print on canvas.
That's amazing, that's awesome.
And
Obviously
so-
not worth as much as the original, but it's still.
Right, like I sell these for $150. And so there's always like, there'll be like 10 of these. So you can have like 2, 4,
And how
whatever.
do they do it when they go to stretching on campus? Do they take your campus apart so they get all the corners and everything, or they just?
Yeah, like what I usually do is I just go and get another canvas and put this canvas right on top of the previous canvas.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's all about keeping the cost down.
great.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of, my stuff is really big, a lot of it, and a lot of people are like afraid of it, so I'm coming up with something that's affordable, because I know we have parties and people just can't afford my originals, right? But they'll pay like up to $500. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna rifle through some more slides here. If you can see them. The assembly hall, do you guys know this one? Yeah. This one is hanging in this building between these two windows. These are all my neighbors from 9th Street. And they used to, in the olden days at the assembly hall, have church services and theatrical performances, and they used to have them outside a lot, and so I really went after this Elizabethan, because the building is like that, and tried to make it really fun, and so the City of Toronto saw it and bought the original, and so it hangs right between these two windows over here, so go and check it out sometime, it's just over here. And yeah, so I let them have the copyright, so they make prints of these, and they can sell them, and all the money goes to the community. Yeah. That was a really complicated picture. There's a lot of things in it, and the trees, and make it clear. What about this one? And getting looser and faster and more brighter. I do a lot of this series where you got a realistic figure and he's always dressed in black and white, so it's either a priest or a maid or a toddler. Where's my maid? There she is. See, there's a 3 on the top. I always have T at 3, and that's what I call this.
Oh, over here?
Yeah, it's kind of cut off on the top. But this is 4 feet by 5 feet. My makeup artist. I want to go to Shoppers Drug Mart and do a deal. Well, you know what? This is another series. Like I have all these different series that are coming up. Right? This is for a cosmetic company or a hair salon or beauty salon or anything. That's my target market through, and I want to put it, make a bag for shoppers. And there's others. Look at this one. This little girl, it's hard, you can't really see it, but she's so amazed by the color of the paint. It looks like candy, and she's trying to lick it. Like that, Ashley? I call this a promiscuous peacock. Ah, this is cool. If I would say so myself, you know what those are? The center of an orchid, but you never see 3 together. They look like aliens. The creative process, it's so cool.
Do you paint from a photograph or the real thing or a mixture?
Yeah, a mixture. You'll see some, what I do now is paint on location. Yeah, and me and my friends will be out there at 6 o'clock before the sun comes up. And by 9 o'clock, I have breakfast in town and do 5 pictures. I'll show you that later.
When you're creating these series, do you create them with partnerships in mind? Do you create like that sort of cosmetic series with coming and approaching different partners, or do you kind of create it and then partnership comes afterwards?
Kind of both. But I've got a new series that's like the square there, and it's 2 little girls. 1 each, and she's got like a straw hat with strawberries and blueberry necklace, and it's all fruit. And I'm really trying to promote healthy eating for kids. And I want to go see Galen Weston from Loblaws and see people backing on this project. Because, you know, everybody knows the kids are so unhealthy these days, watching TV all the time, playing their games, and they're not outside getting healthy. So try to use the art to do it. I was in Santa Fe, and I love it down there. Anywhere it's warm like that. See, it's hard to see this. These are two drunk clowns. Oh, I can't see that one either. These are all these beautiful ladies done in the free, thick, loose style.
Don't you find it hard to do ribbon because the shadows and not so much?
No, that's my favorite, one of my favorite subjects, figures.
I always wanted you to do bands.
Yeah? Oh, I should have brought some other things for you to see. I love abstract. That's what I like, the figures and the abstract when they come together. It's kind of like an evolutionary process. This is my pride, I enjoy that.
Do you find that's like, as far as sales, that your abstract or your figures tend to do better than the other?
Yeah, you know what? Like in Canada, it's scenes.
And it has the kind of different.
And so I do a lot of nice scenes. And my scenes are kind of like my scenes. They're always I'm always trying to make them really powerful and dramatic. This is my painting Transformer. I'm really happy with that. Oh, this one is total. You gotta see the original. But it's not. This one's cool too. But it's not getting me.
Are these all oil?
What's that?
Are they all oil?
All oil, yeah. This one too. This one is really small and for me really big. Sometimes I just do little field sketches just really fast. And they're the ones that are always the best. New York City in a snowstorm. That was fun. I heard about that. He painted his house to go with that picture. Yeah, so a lot of people really like this picture here, right? And so I'm going to make G plays. Oh, I can do that. See? Scenes. Too bad you can't see this one. And this one. Here. On the spot, we'll keep painting. And 15 minutes later, that. So we paint very quick.
Oh, with oils, you can paint that quick?
Oh, yeah. And my friend, Norman Brown, he just bought, I told you that I worked for Ken Thompson, right? And I worked for him for about 10 years. I didn't say that. Okay. So, Ken Thompson, you know, all the stockbrokers are like, oh, I wish I could get the Thompson account. And why? Because he's the most powerful guy in the country. And he's a collector of Canadian art. And when he was a teenager, his father, Roy, started the Thompson business. And it was like newspapers and radio stations. And I remember when I was living in Kirkland Lake when we first immigrated and came to Canada, my mother thought she came to Hooterville, like she got off the train. And she always used to listen to the radio as she's baking her cookies. And her favorite song was White Sports Coat Incarnation. And I said this to Mr. Thompson. He said, that was my father's radio station that she was probably listening to in Timmins. So, anyway, Mr. Thompson, when he was a teenager, started collecting little Krieghoffs. And he had a big art gallery that hardly anybody knew about. It was on the 9th floor of Hudson's Bay. And there used to be this beautiful restaurant just going over the Arcadian Court. He took half of that and made this beautiful art gallery. and it had 19th and 20th century Canadian art there. And so you had Paul Fields in there, Craig Goss, Grant, and then the 20th century, Tom Thompson's, the Group of Seven, Maurice Cullen, Emily Carr, everybody. And so you gotta think, like, when before Mr. Thompson came around, nobody knew who anybody from Canada was. It was him that bought the picture and started to create this buzz. And he was the one who put the Group of Seven on the map. And so I was so, and so my stockbroker friends, you gotta go and see that guy, Mr. Thompson. He's gonna love your stuff. So we did. We sent him some pictures. And he phoned me back. He said, love your pictures. When are you gonna have a show? And so wherever I was showing, he would always come the day before, the day after. And he always got interested in my stuff. And he bought one or two of my paintings. And one day he said, you know, why don't you come work for me? And I said, well, what do I do? And he says, learn everything about the collection. And I want you to be able to speak about it when I send people over. And so he'd send people like David Rockefeller and his entourage over for me to go and guide them around. So I got to meet all these incredible people through Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson was so special. So, yeah. Yeah, so can you imagine he's got like 15 Tom Thompsons. You know, he only painted a very short time in his life, Tom Thompson, before he unfortunately died. And the studio paintings that he did, which were huge, there was only about 39 of them. And there's a picture of me with Mr. Thompson in his vault with these Tom Thompsons that are worth like, who knows how much money. But what was really great about Mr. Thompson was lots of times there wouldn't be anybody in the collection. And him and I would be able to walk around and look at the pictures. And he would explain to me why this was a great picture. You have to think, and Mr. Thompson, there was all these folks out there that maybe had a couple of paintings in their attic. And guess what? It's a Tom Thompson field sketch, right? Where are they going to go? Yeah, they can go to the gallery. But the first place they're going to go is to go see Mr. Thompson. So Mr. Thompson started to acquire all these paintings, but not just the paintings, but all this information that came with the painting. And so he would say, Adrian, see this painting by Tom Thompson? See those rapids? How he painted them? How he uses paint to carve it? He basically pushed and carved and sculpted with his oil paint, Tom Thompson. And no one else knows that. So I would go home and practice this technique. So a lot of those techniques I kind of use in my original field sketch paintings. How are we doing for time? We got lots of time. Yeah, so this painting here, I was just telling Haley there earlier, this is across the lake at one of the wineries. And there was this like purple, pinky color over the city of Toronto. I thought, wow, that's so cool. Mom says, that's pollution from the city. Oh, we'll go back. Yeah. All right. I'm so happy with that one. Little field sketch I made really big. It never looks not as good though when you work it out. Norman's so good at it though. Look at that one.
At some point, can you talk about the prices?
Sure. Yeah, like this is a little field sketch, so it'll be like around 8 by 10 or 10 by 11 or something like that. And I would sell those for $500. You know, all these ones that are 3 feet by 4 feet, $5,000. And the reason I say that is because you can see the stickers of all the different galleries that I've been with. And so they dictate the prices of the pictures. And I stick to that because it's not fair to somebody that comes along and says, oh, I want that picture, but I'm not prepared to pay that much. And I said, well, your friend did. I can't give it to you for less than what your friend would, right? Oh, so in your art career, what's really cool is sometimes you get like people that want your paintings all the time. And so whenever you paint a picture, like my maid or the butler, there's a family that always wants to see that style, and they'll usually buy it. So one of my friends, she had this daycare center, and you know, she went to UT, got her bachelor's. She's sitting on social or kids studies or something like this. She was looking down, and there was a rec center that wasn't used. And so she went to the management and said, you know what, I would like to have a daycare in there. So she put all these little flyers around, and sure enough, she ended up with 10, 20 kids. And that was her first daycare center. Now she's got 30. And and she has like programs for the summertime too, right? And so she just has this money-making thing that just generates so much money. And even like when she buys food, she gets all these airlines that she doesn't know what to do with. So she'll phone Cheryl and me and say, hey, you want to go to Mexico? I want to check out a house. And okay. And so we'll hop on a plane using your air miles and off we go. So she buys houses all the time. And so she had this young guy that was her assistant. He really loved her, but she always thought that he was after her money. And I hope she doesn't even see this. Anyway, but he loved her, and she'd phone us up sometimes where she's by herself in some beautiful island, and she's not being able to share it with anybody. And I said, you know what, why don't you marry him? And so they did. And after the marriage ceremony, everybody got one of these little boxes, triangle boxes. And and a little bowl of orange sugar. And so when everybody got their box, they were told, okay, open the box, and out came these butterflies. So that's what this painting's about. And so it's a little girl, she's surrounded by monarch butterflies, and they're kind of like in suspended animation, they're kind of like frozen, and then they kind of come alive when they're opened up. Yeah. So, yes, she's got a couple of my, you know, and I have to go back and get some of these paintings back, just to photograph them and make sense.
So the galleries dictate your prices, but how do you dictate your series and editions? On how many you will print in a series?
Yeah, you know what, I have an agent, right?
Yeah.
And I want to kill him.
So does he dictate?
Yeah, so he's I'm really interested to see where he's going with the one bullhead that you saw. He said, I can sell that. I'm gonna sell. And I don't even want to sell it because I haven't been able to use it in publicity things. Like what I'm gonna do after really soon, when I get this picture back, is I'm going to have some nice promotional pictures of me with the paintings and let everybody know that I'm the one that's coming up with this new paintings for the new economy. Right? And so people have to see that, right? And they have to see me and I have to talk to them. And I think that's going to be really important. That's why this is good. Very, very good. Very good. Hey, Ben.
Hey, how's it
How you
going?
doing?
So I just had a class. Want to come over?
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, I wish there was more people. Oh, there's that one. See, it's over there. Katie. Oh, can't see that one. That's my sister, my secret weapon. She's great. She can do it like crazy.
Who's that?
That's just another girl that I painted, and I paint her all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah.
familiar.
And so I have another painting at home this is where she's kind of like waking up and getting ready to go out. The next picture is her all dressed up and getting ready to go out. Did you ever see that one,
Yes,
the one
I
with
did.
the mask?
I think on Facebook.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so they're always side by side. I always like doing
Wait,
that.
so it's somebody you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's a girl on the street. She's a teacher in China. Yeah.
How did you get started with your agent? Did you just approach someone? Did they approach you?
Well, you know what? I had an agent before, but well, not really an official agent. Like I was with Art Gallery for about 10 years, and they had different salespeople. And her name was Andrea Thompson, and she was selling my stuff like crazy. Right? The director wasn't sure about me. Like you know, a lot of art galleries, they want you to do one style and get known for this one style. But I don't work like that, and I get bored. So I have to do all kinds of different things. And so she was into that. She could sell my scenes, my figures, and so there was always certain people that were interested in that. So I kind of went with her all along. Right? She ended up leaving and going with Lynn Henslop. So I was with them for about 9 years, and then that closed up. And yeah, does that answer your question?
So
What was
are
your
you with
question?
a more like traditional agent now?
Yeah, now this
By,
agent has like 5,000 galleries all over the world. And what I kind of don't like is he likes the fact that I can paint anything, anytime. And so I'm painting all, you know, oh, let's do this, and let's do that. And what's good about it is he buys everything before it leaves the house. So that's really good. But I don't like the things that I'm forced to paint just for the money. And so, but I just did it to see if we could get along, and we can't. So when I did the bulls and the bears, like he's like, oh, I want to do that. I could sell that. I'm going to sell that. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a guy in Montreal. He's going to buy it. And I said, oh, okay. When do I get my check? And well, let's just wait till I get my money. And so 2 weeks go by. Where's my money? Oh, well, he doesn't know if he's going to pay in installments now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm hearing all kinds of negative things here. I don't know if this is really happening. Like, you either give me the money or give me my picture back. Right? Because I don't care if you sell it. I need it back. I can sell myself. I don't need you to sell it. You know, and that's, I don't want to get aggressive, but with agents, yeah, so I never burn my bridges, because you never know. Like I can go there, I can come up with some kind of a new concept nobody's ever seen before, and create something really special, and maybe this will work for him and he can sell them. But he doesn't, he says to me, you know, Adrian, what do you care? You got your money. And I'm like, no, I want people to buy the pictures, and why aren't they buying them? I don't understand when I look on the internet why they're not sold, right? Why aren't you selling them? Well, they have to be placed in the right spot. It's all about placing them in the right spot. And I just don't feel good about it, you know what I mean? So anyway, that picture didn't sell, right? And I was expecting it because he said he sold it. And when you say you're going to do something, you know what? If somebody lies to me once, you know, I don't like that. And then these guys, they oh, I'm coming over, you know, in the morning. And so I'm waiting for him. Doesn't show up. Doesn't show up for 2 days. Right? What am I supposed to do? Wait around for you? I shouldn't be going around like this. But, you know, I don't need it anymore because we have this alternate way of selling. And that's through social media and all that. So it's almost like I'm figuring out how to bypass the whole gallery thing. Like I have a beautiful house with big gallery space. Have you ever been there?
No, but I want to come there.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to have a show probably pretty soon. Because everybody is asking and I should do that.
Are you on Instagram and do you're on Twitter?
Right.
Do you still want to do that?
No, not just starting to do that, but here's what I'm coming up with. Some of my new products. Ben, I don't know if you've seen these. So when Cheryl goes to some party, she always wants to bring a little bag or a gift. And this, she says, you should put it on a wine bag, and it's got a thank you card in it. So it's got a little saying on the back.
Cheryl's idea?
Yeah. She says, you should put one of your paintings on a wine bag. So, yeah, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, guess what? I found out how to do it. And it's really sitting on the computer with the people to really fine-tune and make sure, you know, you're getting the quality. But this is a canvas bag with an oil painting on it. Hello?
I used to do graphic designs actually for 20 years in real estate, and we used to do that with the logo of the condo building and whatever, and then we put all the flyers with all the different suites in it.
Right.
But that's a great idea.
Yeah, it is, you know, and now we'll be selling this online. And you don't need, I was going to, you know, stupid me, going to the LCBO, trying to make a deal with them. Hello, it doesn't happen here in Canada, that's why I'm mostly in the US, right? Because I can go to a winery in California. Everybody knows that the LCBO is the biggest seller of alcohol in Canada, right? But in the States, some of these wineries in California are as big as the LCBO. So I'll go there and make a deal with them. Because if you get it done in China, they only cost $1. And how much can you sell for at the LCBO? $7, $10. And you sell it at these other stores, home sense, maybe.
Yeah. Or even those other decorative wine boxes, you put the artwork on.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of the canvas bag though, oil painting on canvas. So, and what I think will happen is they'll start to collect them. Yeah. So that's one of my other ideas. But when I was at Curry's, I just love this canvas. And I wanted to figure out how to use it, you know, but you can put it on a coffee table. You can put it on a wall. So this is actually a series of 3. This is a sister and a mother. It's got a big fuchsia pink hat. And then the other sister is looking at her. So this one's looking this way. The other sister is looking this way.